Hi everyone, this is Francois, head coach at WSA Sailing, for another How To Series. Today we're going to cover jibing. Jibing is definitely one of those skills that requires a little bit more practice. There's a little bit more to it than tacking. Things happen a little bit more quickly, and I'm going to show you guys a kind of an overview on how to jibe a pirate. So when we're trying to jibe, one of the most common mistakes is overturning the boat. So what happens is, if the wind's coming like this, boat's coming down, trying to jibe this way, they turn this way, and to try to get, in an attempt to get the boom to flop over, and then it flies over real fast, and then the boat's facing really far away from the intended direction, which is on a Wednesday night, we want to get to that bottom mark as fast as possible. If we do that big turn, we end up sailing a whole bunch of extra distance, and it's also much more difficult to control the boat when we do that big turn. Okay, so the way to minimize that turn is to make sure we know where the wind's coming from. So have a smooth turn and pull the boom across when we want it to come across. So the timing here is really dictated by your actions rather than just waiting for the boom to come across, which is something I see often out there. So just a couple of quick things that we're going to cover here in our simulator in a few minutes. First thing is we're going to pre-jibe the tiller. So basically what that means, if I'm sitting in the boat, my tiller's in this hand, I'm going to flip it over so it's already on the other side, ready for me to switch sides. Then I'm going to be in a bit of a ready position, a bit of that athletic stance. I'm going to stand on my toes and feet so that I can move and get ready to move to the other side and be in that ready position. And one thing I really don't want to do is be on my knees at the bottom of the boat. The boat balance changes, I can't move. So I need to be in a position where I can adjust my balance quickly during the jibe. Then, as I mentioned earlier, steer smoothly, don't overturn. So that one of the ways to do that is to have a bit of a reference point when we jibe and pulling the sail across, so we don't have to turn as much for the sail to cross the center of the boat. And we need to know where the wind is coming from exactly to be able to achieve this. Number 4 here, sheet in or get the crew to pull the boom over. So as you're turning the boat, you're going to pull the boom, and then the boom's going to switch sides, and then that's going to minimize the amount of turn that's required. And finally, bear away down to the mark. So once the boom switches sides, go back down. So what I mean by that is, if I'm coming down like this, and I'm going to jibe in this direction, I'm going to pull my sail in, the sail's going to come across, and as soon as the sail is across, I'm going to bear off again. So essentially you end up doing a little bit of an S turn there, right? So you'll end up doing something like this, and back down to the mark, and so a little bit of S turn jibe, which I'll demonstrate shortly when we head out on the water. Alright guys, here we are now in our simulator. So I'll just demonstrate a couple of the steps here that need to happen before we can jibe the boat. So the first thing I was talking about is pre-jibing the tiller. So flipping it over here, and then I have my main sheet in my other hand there. Okay, so to jibe, I need to pull the tiller towards me instead of pushing for attack. So pulling. As I pull, what I'm going to do at the same time is give the main sheets a couple of tugs, and the boom's going to flick over like this. And then as soon as it flicks over, I got to switch sides, and I'm steering behind my back exact same way as I would be doing with the tack. Regain control of the boat, and off I go for the jibe. Okay, and the main thing here that you'll see is that I'm kind of on my tippy toes when I'm about to jibe, when I'm doing this. Okay, so that I can move. So if the boat changes balance, I can move here, I can move there, I can balance the boat and keep it flat through the jibe. Now let's go see what it looks like on the water. Alright, this is what it looks like from the water. Got my tiller, I'm going to pre-jibe and start turning the boat. I'm going to sheet in, a couple of pulls, stop.
back out.